Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami. I go for refuge in the Buddha. I go for refuge in the Dharma. I go for refuge in the Sangha. Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Good evening. Welcome. We'll start with our 15 minutes of seated meditation. In learning this path, it is important to walk on the real ground, to act on the basis of reality. The slightest phoniness, and you fall into the realm of demons. We'll chant the Gatha on opening the sutras. This Dharma, incomparably profound and minutely subtle, is rarely encountered, even in hundreds of thousands of millions of ages. Now we see it, hear it, hold and maintain it. May we completely realize the true mind of all Buddhas. All right, very good. Time for tonight's talk. So sit back, relax, enjoy yourself, because coming from our sister Sangha in Pennsylvania, Scudder Falls Zen, we have their guiding teacher, Wanyong. Oh, not the guiding teacher.
Oh no, I passed that off to Wayne, so I didn't have to do it. It doesn't actually mean anything anyway, there. So no, I'm just the one of the senior teachers.
Ah, I see. Um, Never mind.
Speaking of which, that's what I've come here to talk about tonight, kind of. Um, well, no, I came here to see y'all, and yeah, but I got asked to talk, so I got to talk about something. But it is about teachers and teaching. So I think Western convert Zen Buddhism just makes too much of teachers. That's certainly not true of all convert Buddhism in the West. I don't think it's the case in for like Theravada or like say the Jodo Shinsho Pure Land. Um, well, not just in America, probably anywhere. I think teachers are super important and elevated in a lot of Vajrayana Buddhism, it seems, though I don't really know anything about it. So just focusing here on Western convert Zen, and I think making too much of teachers. Like the idea of the Zen master, which I don't think that's really a term we use around here, but that's and the Zen teacher as this sort of singular figure. There's the student, and the student has quote a teacher, um, and this isn't a problem here, but we've all either experienced or heard about the sanghas where the Zen masters there have transcended the precepts. And so when they do things that appear to violate the precepts, that's just them acting from an awakened mind in order to awaken the minds of others. And I suspect those are the places where you find the sex and money scandals. Do you ever look up like a famous, you're curious about a rather famous Zen teacher? You just type in to a search engine their name and scandal, and how often that comes up. It's like 90% of the time for like these sort of more, well, I shouldn't say celebrity Zen masters, but whatever. There's a lot of that out there. And but I think there'd be this problem where we set up this dynamic where you have to go through the teacher for awakening, to be evaluated and certified in one's awakening, and even worse, to awaken altogether. I think like that term Zen master, in my understanding is in Korea, which so where we come out of, that the Zen master is just the person in the monastery who leads the teaching, teaches and leads meditation. Not much any more or less, that they get elected by the monks or nuns who are there to meditate, and can be recalled from their position if people don't like how they're doing it. That's a very different idea of a Zen master. I think the way that transmission often gets talked about, I think is part of can create troubles for us when it's treated as this mystical mind-to-mind transmission. This idea of these lineages of patriarchs from Siddhartha down to the present, where there's this mind-to-mind transmission of the teachings beyond words and beyond the sutras, where it's talked about as this think the uniting of minds, and the teacher and student, and can be used as a way to set up, again, to create to turn the teacher into this this gateway through which people have to go in order to wake up. You know, like the teacher's there dangling the keys, and yeah, you got to go through me. And in again, going back to Korea, transmission, my understanding is it's just the public recognition of a person's ability to teach, which comes after Inga, the private recognition of somebody's potential to ultimately awaken. That's quite different, and it doesn't sound like monks and nuns in Korea, that very, very tiny number who actually focus a lot on meditating, for example, it doesn't seem that that there's much emphasis on having, quote, a teacher, this singular figure, that Inga can come from any qualified teacher. You might get transmission from someone you've never worked with in the way that we think of student-teacher relationships here. So again, it really quite different. And I can't say I ever really believed in this sort of more mystical idea of mind-to-mind transmission, or that I certainly never saw Zen masters as these infallible beings. There's just too much evidence otherwise. But when I got, well, forget about Inga or transmission, just when Andre first asked me to take on a student, and I just thought he was nuts. But I really, even though I didn't believe in those more sort of mystical versions of things, I did say, like, okay, yeah, but transmission should be like this really big thing. And then when I got it, it's like, what the hell? Like, I'm not that, whatever it is I'm imagining, I'm not that. But the funny thing is, I never thought Andre was, like, I saw Andre as anything more or less than what he is either. So I don't know why I was, putting this on myself, but I was like, what, this is just bonkers that anybody would give this to me. And I mean, it took me about 2 years to work through this stuff before I had, comfort with it and teaching. But I finally was able to give that up and just, accept the limitations of teachers, the limitations of transmission. Now teachers are super useful. I'm not dismissing the idea of having teachers. And so, like, if you're really committed to awakening, like, this is what you're going to do, by all means, work with, quote, a teacher, and someone who can be talking to on a regular basis, even like typical here with what's going on with your work, especially like if you're doing Hua Do, I think you've got to have someone you're working with. Like, I think you just should not be working Hua Do on your own. Even with just like any form of meditation, have someone check in with. But and certainly if you're going to teach, or I guess you have some inclination towards that, or as in probably it happens just as often, someone comes along and says, like, hey, you should be teaching. I think you definitely need a teacher then, someone to certify you, hey, this person can teach. But teachers only get you so far. It seems, in my experience with myself, with students, it seems at some point, I mean, you just got to become responsible for your own cultivation. Like, at some point, like, what more is a teacher going to tell you about what you need to be doing? You know the various practices, how to do them, how to read the sutras. You just got to do it. And at some point, it also seems, to me, at least in my experience, it just stops being meaningful at some point for one person to be judging or certifying someone. Like, after you get a certain point, it's just certifying, or just you're judging your level of awakening. But ultimately, it seems to me we got to turn to Siddhartha's final teachings to Ananda. It said, be islands unto yourselves, be your own refuge, having no other. Let the Dharma be an island or a refuge to you, having no other. Inquire into the origins of suffering. And we've all seen this, like people using the quote, be an island unto yourself, and like using it. Well, let's see. Well, I was going to say probably folks who aren't actually Buddhist, but probably, but no, I think, Buddhists maybe using this quote this way as well to mean like, oh, well, then whatever I think is fine. I can just say or do whatever I want. I'm an island unto myself. And of course, that's not the Dharma, especially when you look at the sutra. Siddhartha's like real clear after that exactly what he means by being an island unto yourself and how to become an island. He says you protect yourself with a barrier made of mindfulness. And in this particular context, by practicing the 4 foundations of mindfulness. So being aware as sensations arise, being aware of them, before they generate craving, or as unhelpful thoughts arise, that protective barrier that allows you to set them aside and to erode that habit pattern of them arising. Most simply keeping attention on the breath and the sensations of the body at all time. And sure, there's other practices, we could substitute for that. Lojong, chanting Amitabha Buddha, or many others that can do the same function. But, I was talking something quite specific there. And it seems to me, at some point, we all gotta face that moment where the teacher just can't do much of anything, or can't do very much for you anymore. At some point, you just got to take all responsibility for it and just do it. But again, I think teachers are useful, but I think there's also lots of folks out there like put this emphasis on students and teachers, and people think, oh, well, I got to get a teacher. Well, maybe you don't. Maybe, you're just like, for you, meditation is like, I just trying to keep a lid on the worst impulses of my mind, or just trying to calm myself down some. You probably don't need, quote, a teacher. You can, whether, I don't know if this applies to anybody here, but, you be talking to any of the teachers here occasionally, you want help with meditation or something occasionally, sure, talk to them. You don't need to have that super committed student-teacher relationship, or this is being recorded as well. So maybe that applies more to some folks who might be watching this, if anybody watches it, outside of this, this group, but, should really judge that. Like, do I really need, quote, a teacher? Or do I just need to get some help here and there? So again, teachers super, super useful. But at some point, it seems, in my experience, we just got to be islands unto ourselves. And and it took me stupidly long to find peace with that. So hopefully your experience has been better.
Thank you for your teaching, he said ironically. All right, so we're going to go back for another 15 minutes of seated meditation. The right attitude for studying the way is just complete spontaneous acquiescence. Who cares whether it takes 20 or 30 years? You'll be naturally at peace without the slightest bit of delusion or confusion. Let's chant the Heart Sutra. Mahaprajna Paramita Rilaya Sutra Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva when practicing deeply the Prajnaparamita perceives that all five skandhas are empty and is safe from all suffering and distress. Shariputra, form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. That which is form is emptiness. That which is emptiness, form. The same is true of feelings, perceptions, impulses, consciousness. Shariputra, all dharmas are marked with emptiness. They do not appear or disappear, are not tainted or pure, do not increase or decrease. Therefore in emptiness no form, no feelings, perceptions, impulses, consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no color, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of eyes, and so forth, until no realm of mind consciousness, no ignorance, and also no extinction of it, and so forth, until no old age and death, and also no extinction of them, no suffering, no origination, no stopping, no path, no cognition, also no attainment, with nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva depends on Prajnaparamita, and the mind is no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist. Far apart from every perverted view, one dwells in nirvana. In the three worlds, all Buddhas depend on Prajnaparamita and attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Therefore know that Prajnaparamita is the great transcendent mantra, is the great bright mantra, is the utmost mantra, is the supreme mantra, which is able to relieve all suffering and is true, not false. So proclaim the Prajnaparamita mantra. Proclaim the mantra which says Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha. So let's recite Venerable Wanji's loving kindness meditation. May I be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to me. May no difficulties come to me. May I have a calm and peaceful mind. May I have patience, insight, courage, and compassion in meeting the challenges of life. May my parents be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they have a calm and peaceful mind. May they have patience, insight, courage, and compassion in meeting the challenges of life. May my teachers be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they have a calm and peaceful mind. May they have patience, insight, courage, and compassion in meeting the challenges of life. May family members and relatives be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they have a calm and peaceful mind. May they have patience, insight, courage, and compassion in meeting the challenges of life. May friends and acquaintances be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they have a calm and peaceful mind. May they have patience, insight, courage, and compassion in meeting the challenges of life. May unfriendly people and my enemies be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they have a calm and peaceful mind. May they have patience, insight, courage, and compassion in meeting the challenges of life. May unknown persons be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they have a calm and peaceful mind. May they have patience, insight, courage, and compassion in meeting the challenges of life. May all beings, with form and without form, visible, invisible, born or coming to birth, large and small, from the highest realm of existence to the lowest, be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they have a calm and peaceful mind. May they have patience, insight, courage, and compassion in meeting the challenges of life. Let's do our dedications of merit. All sentient beings are one seamless body and pass quickly from birth to death. We remember those who cared for us and are gone. Those who are ill, those who are at war, who are hungry, and who are in pain, may they heal and have peace. We especially dedicate our service to Mike Gingy Wood, Brian Unger, and would anyone care to add anyone in?
My Lynn Pham and Alan Hauser.
Any others?
Those
Jean and
suffering.
Judy and family.
Anyone else?
Those in the Sheridan family suffering from cancer, and all those actually suffering from cancer worldwide. And for those that are leading this country right now, may they come to their senses and see the light.
Any others?
Yes, a special threefold from me. One for Palestine, one for all those imprisoned, and special one for my sister Natalie and her dog Leica. Thank you.
All beings in the 10 directions, subject to the greed, hatred, and illusions of themselves and others. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all honored ones, Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, wisdom beyond wisdom, Maha Prajna Paramita. And since we are on the cusp of a full moon, why don't we do our repentance from the 10 evil actions? This moment I repent from the serious transgressions of taking any life, taking things not given, misconduct done in lust, false speech, taking intoxicants to produce heedlessness, discussing the faults of others, praising my own works, clinging and stinginess, wrathful anger, and slandering the three jewels. May all offenses accumulated during hundreds of eons now be totally consumed in an instant, as fire burns dry grass, extinguishing all things until nothing remains. Our offenses have no self-nature, but arise only from our minds. If our minds are extinguished, then our offenses too will be destroyed. When both our minds and our offenses are extinguished, and both are seen as empty, this is termed the true repentance. And we'll do our faith and practice vow. I will never retreat and will be firm in my mind in this correct Dharma. I will escape from the samsaric cycle of birth and death and definitely will see my original face. I will be sure to inherit the life of insight of the Buddha and save all sentient beings. Brother Hengdal, would you care to do the gratitude gatha?
The spiritual source shines clearly in the light. The branching streams flow on in the dark. Infinite realms of light and dark convey the Buddha mind. Birds and trees and stars and we ourselves come forth in perfect harmony. We practice and recite this for all beings, and in grateful thanks to our many guides along the way.
And we'll recite the 4 great Bodhisattva vows. Sentient beings are numberless. We vow to help them all. Delusions are countless. We vow to see through them all. Opportunities to awaken are infinite. We vow to embrace them all. The Buddha way is endless. We vow to embody it. Life and death are of supreme importance. Time passes swiftly by and opportunities to awaken are easily lost. Strive to realize your true nature and do not squander your time by night or day.